Hey everybody, it is Gadget Guru HD, and today I have a pretty controversial video for you all. It's actually why I'm selling my Samsung Galaxy S4. Now this is actually the Verizon version, and I haven't had any huge or horrible issues with my Galaxy S4. It's just that there were several small things that have really bugged me over time. Now the first problem I've had with the S4 was actually an issue that I got prior to even purchasing it. This is the type of buttons that Samsung chose to use. And I'm not sure if it was just me, but I would much rather prefer all capacitive touch buttons, on-screen buttons, or even all physical buttons, like on the Galaxy S4 Active. I'm just not a fan of one physical button, especially when they have those two capacitive ones right next to it. This design just doesn't make any sense to me, and while I'm generally on Samsung's side when it comes to all of these crazy lawsuits, the physical home button is definitely something to attract iOS users that are switching over to Android. My second issue probably has something to do with using and owning a Nexus 4 and Nexus 7 for a very long time prior to owning the Galaxy S4. But for me, it was still a major problem. Look guys, TouchWiz has to be the absolute worst custom Android skin I've ever used. I literally powered up this phone for the first time, saw those horrible icons, and immediately installed Nova Launcher. Now for someone that isn't a real Android enthusiast and hasn't experienced the superiority of stock Android, then it may not be a big deal for them. But for me, I just can't see or imagine using the Galaxy S4 without Nova Launcher. My third issue with the Galaxy S4 was these very gimmicky features. I actually used them for the first week and actually found them pretty useful, but after that I did not use them once. The most annoying thing was, I'm pretty sure it's called Smart Stay. I had problems watching YouTube videos and it was really annoying. Now just out of habit, I often leave my Galaxy S4 on my dock and listen to a Techno Buffalo or Logic Lounge news outlet thing that lasts about 10 minutes or so. It's a great way to get all of your news in a small amount of time while you're working on something else. And by the way, if you haven't actually heard of either of these channels, I'll put annotations to them because they're really great news sources. Anyways, I actually just out of habit normally walk away, refill my water cup, or just go to the restroom, which is close enough for me to still hear the news from the S4 speakers. But the Galaxy S4 would always stop playing. The same issue would happen when I'm working on the computer, looking at my monitor, and then the video stops playing. I realized that the features are able to be turned off, and I did turn them all off not long after getting the phone. But for me, when the main feature that a company advertises as a selling point isn't applicable to you, then it probably isn't a great device for you. Yes, it may be a great phone and selling point for someone else, but probably not for me. So after pretty much getting rid of all the Samsung features and selling points, I felt like this was a pretty good smartphone, but it just wasn't enough to feel like it's better than other devices like the HTC One, Xperia Z, and even the Oppo Find 5 after the new spec bump. The One, the Xperia Z, and the Find 5 have nearly identical specs to the Galaxy S4 and have much better and superior build quality than the Galaxy S4. While the general public may be flocking to Samsung and its latest flagship, I still feel like the true Android enthusiasts will go somewhere else with their business. So with that, I think it pretty much wraps up why I'm selling my Galaxy S4, and I realized I was pretty harsh on the S4, but there was more to talk about. I just don't think the Galaxy S4 is worthy of all the praise it's gotten. If you don't already know, I will be picking up the HTC One Google Edition around the middle of July, so expect a ton of rooting and robbing tutorials on the phone. And if you're interested in buying my Galaxy S4, which is a Verizon edition, I'll be listing it on swappa.com soon, so stay tuned to my Twitter for more info on that. I hope all of you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already. Also, continue the argument of Galaxy S4 versus HTC One versus whatever phone you have, or whatever phone you feel like is better than the S4, in the comment section. I'm excited to hear what you all have to say about these two phones. Do you agree with me that the general public is on the Samsung ship, while true Android fans are slowly moving elsewhere? Let me know what you all think, and I'll try to reply to all of the comments. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to all of the new content on the channel. I will see you all in the next video.